Hello everybody. We are back once again. It is Taco Tuesday once again, and we're back for another live episode of Golf Cart Garage. I am Tim, and we will talk about some golf cart issues today, I'm sure, just like we always do. This is July the 2nd. We are live right now. We are live on Facebook and YouTube on July the 2nd. I decided to go ahead and do this today, even though we're that close to the 4th. I'll be at the lake. I'm probably going to the lake today, then stay through the 4th and through the holiday. But haven't gone yet, so I'm still here. Let me see what's going on Facebook. Yep, we're up and running. We are up and running on YouTube. My OBS is working good, it looks like. Galactic, another fun episode. What's up, Galactic? Gene Hansen, what's going on? 76 in Michigan. Man, that does sound good because we are hot in Arkansas right now. I'm sure Helpless Garage, when he gets in here, he will verify that. Because he's north of me, but I'm sure it's still hot in northern Arkansas right now too. Mike Irvin's 85 and sunny in southwestern Indiana. 87 in Florida, where Kirk's at, but rain on the way. Yeah, I saw the hurricanes are about to mess Jamaica up, for sure. It's going to hit Jamaica at a Category 5 or something like that. Harry Fike, 95, and Muggy in Zolfo Springs. Jeffrey, 75 in the Poconos. I bet that's nice on Jeffrey right now, 75. D-Max, what's going on, brother? I did get your email about the battery, by the way, with the new sale and the lower price and everything. Craig, what's going on, Craig? 46 this AM with the Poconos. Big Mike, what's going on, brother? Rich East Main, 79 in Machapongo. Galactic, everything going great. Tim, machining up some custom pulleys for a racing mower today. Cool. I tell you what, Galactic, when you get that done, take some pictures of that. Send that to me. So I'll show some racing mower pictures. Nothing wrong with anything racing, but especially small vehicles. I don't know. I've always liked small vehicles, like mowers and golf carts and motorcycles and jet skis. I don't know why, but I always have. Ralph Hernandez, what's going on, Ralph? Hello from Pismo Beach, California, 73. 100, Brandon Guthrie, 106 in Tulare County, California, 106. Like button has been hit and it was great. Y'all should try it too. Okay, let me check Facebook. Yeah, we're still rolling. Just before I get started, I want to make sure we're doing good because I'm on my regular internet today. I know I should knock on wood when I say that, I guess, or something. Sure, I can do that. I'll send some pics. Yeah, send some pics. I'd like to see some racing lawnmower pics. That's fine. Okay, where's my social media button? There it is. We'll run the social media links. Please follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Hit the like and subscribe if you have not already done so. There's the social media links. I'm running those right now. Don Bortel, hello Tim from Tucson, 94 with monsoon rains expected later today. Thinking about Halloween dress up and how about the Beverly Hillbillies truck? Yep, that would be cool. All right, I did the social media. This is Tuesday, July the 2nd. All right, we're ready to get started. We'll get started with the regular questions. I'm sure we'll have some other questions that we talk about. Got some interesting regular questions today, and I have some pictures. Nothing major, but I do have some pictures to show. There's just some cart that I built for a customer. Running low on pictures, so everybody send me some pictures if you get a chance. 00timfreeman@gmail.com. So send me some golf cart pictures or some racing lawnmower pictures. That'd be fine. All right, question number one. This is from Alan. I want to install a 12-volt sound bar and 12-volt subwoofer on my 82-volt golf cart. What do I need? Well, my first question is, what is your battery configuration? Because you're obviously going to need a voltage reducer. But 82 volts, that's kind of odd, kind of an odd number. Is it just one single 82 volt battery, or is it a configuration of 6 volt batteries or 8 volt batteries, or what has you got? Because you're obviously going to have to use a voltage reducer to get your 12 volts. So that's all you need is a voltage reducer. But if you have a certain battery configuration, like you've got 12 volt batteries in there, you can run it off of one of those 12 volt batteries. But so without a voltage reducer. So that's why I say that my first question would be, what is your battery configuration? Then we go from there. Brandon Guthrie, remind me what your pictures that you sent me were, and I'll tell you if I got them or not. Because I'll remember if you tell me what they were. Let me make sure we're good. Chris Ham on Facebook. Chris Ham says, can you get the U-bolts for an E-Z-GO golf cart at an automotive parts store? You mean, Chris, are you talking about the U-bolts around the axle? Because if you are, I would say it's a good chance you could. You could probably get something really close, but I would want it to be exact, you know. So, I mean, I've seen lots of different U-bolts at different places. You might have to go to a place that has a big section, maybe bigger than an automotive parts store, but you know that those U-bolts do have a E-Z-GO part number. In fact, I think I have some in this drawer. I got some heavy duty ones somewhere. See, I put heavy duty ones on the race car because of axle wrap, because I was worried about popping the stock ones, so they do make heavy duty ones. But you could give it a shot. I've never bought any at the auto parts store or at Home Depot or Lowe's, but because they do have an E-Z-GO part number associated with them. So I really don't know if you could find the exact ones or not. I would feel better about getting some from E-Z-GO, you know, straight from E-Z-GO, if you or from go to Golf Cart Garage and see if we have some. On my trailer, have not had time, week behind on customer repairs. My shop trailer, oh, okay. Patriotic 8-seater, yeah, I got that, Brandon. I just haven't shown it yet, but yeah, I have that in my email. I've got I remember now that you told me. Joe Foster, Taco Tim, good day, 78 in Kings Mountain, North Carolina. What's going on, Joe Foster? Craig, I do not have traction bars. There were some people that were involved at the time that welded everything solid. In other words, the rear end was like a Harley Davidson hardtail, basically, if you know what that is. I mean, no suspension, nothing, completely solid in the rear, just completely welded shut, so there was no give. A lot of people did that. I just chose to go with heavy-duty leaf springs and heavy-duty U-bolts, and it worked out for me. I mean, I lost a little traction sometimes out of the hole because it would spin a little bit, but I don't know if it was hurting me or not. But it is basically the stock setup in the rear of that car, but heavy duty everything. Heavy duty leaf springs, like 4 leaves to help with axle wrap. Heavy duty U-bolts that's squeezing it down really, really hard, and I haven't had a problem. And I use Mickey Thompson slicks. I actually have some Mickey Thompsons, believe it or not, that I can't leave the Mickey Thompsons on the car all the time because those Mickey Thompson tires are notorious for not holding air, you know, for long periods of time. They'll just leak out. They're so light. They weigh like nothing. So when I would go to the track, I'd slap my Mickey Thompsons on there. The tires that are on it now are just so I don't have to worry about air pressure and everything. But the Mickey Thompsons I have are designed for junior dragsters. I don't know if you know what that is, but junior dragsters that race at the quarter mile, they use that's the tires that I put on the rear of it. Lots of junior dragster parts can be taken and you know, over into the golf cart drag racing world. Let's see. Big Mike, what bearing do I need for a 17 48-volt rear axle bearing? I'm having a hard time finding them on the site. Okay. I don't know off the top of my head, but I do know that there's numbers on the outside of that race, and you just have to match the numbers. You have to just make sure that all bearings have numbers on that race. About a half mile away, they are leaf springs for everything. Oh, okay, cool. Okay. Larry La Cucaracha, what's going on? Larry, on Facebook. Thank you for stopping in, sir. You can get T-wheels for golf cart. I think those would be great for off-road situations, my primary use. Yep. The Junior Dragsters, I got the aluminum wheels with those Mickey Thompsons on it from the back for the rear tires. They are so light. I mean, I wish I could let y'all check them out because they're really, really cool. They're very light. I'll show them sometime. I've got them packed away over there. I'll pull them out sometime. They will fit on a golf cart, but like I said, they're notorious for not holding air, so it's not something you can leave on your golf cart all the time. Okay, we are on number 2. Number 2. This is from Thom. It looks like. I have a stock 23 E-Z-GO Liberty and use it primarily on a hilly and bumpy golf course with 1 passenger and 2 golf bags. I would like to soften the ride and wanted some advice. I'm willing to modify the leaf spring pack or replace it altogether. Do you have any parts or suggestions to make this cart ride better than a tank? Thom, we have talked on this channel. We talk about that all the time. Because, well, you said that yours is a 2023 E-Z-GO Liberty. Well, I wouldn't doubt it if that's a lithium cart. I mean, I don't know if that's lithium or not. But we've talked about the need for a softer suspension pack for lithium conversions and just lithium carts in general. You know, they need a softer suspension pack because the car weighs so much less, you know, right out the gate. Jeffrey, I do not. Some people involved did because they had more traction than I did in the rear. Remember I was talking about how mine actually spins, that if it didn't spin, then I might have to go solid in the rear or do some wheelie bars. Because you can pull a wheelie on 72 volts. If your car is set up for 72 volts, you don't really have to worry about that much on 48. If you got your car set up good on 48, you may pull a little wheelie, but nothing where you're gonna go over. 72, you could go over if you've got your setup right. So yeah, wheelie bars have to be fabricated, you know, because they don't make wheelie bars for golf carts. So you got to have somebody that knows what they're doing. But I have seen several wheelie bar sets for E-Z-GO TXTs and club cars, but it was usually for 72 volts and up. 72 volts, your car will come alive. A series cart will definitely come alive and surprise you on 72 volts. Where am I at here? Oh, number 2. That was Thom I was talking about. Yeah. There's really nothing you can do, Thom, except for adjust your air pressure, and you may be able to change your tires and rims up, you know, to have a less of a low profile tire, so you have more room to adjust your air pressure down. That's something you can do. We talk about that all the time. But other than that, I am waiting for some type of new suspension pack that's softer, not stiffer. That's something that's softer. But as far as I know, they don't have one yet. Number 3 is from Kevin. I have a 2009 Precedent electric that I'd like to unleash the power on for farm use. The throttle pedal functions almost as an on-off as opposed to linear, and hills are a nightmare. What are the options and performance involved? 2009 Precedent. The throttle pedal functions almost as an on-off as opposed to a linear. Oh, okay. Well, if I'm understanding your question correctly, it sounds like you're not getting your M-core is not working right. The signal is either on or off. There's no change while you're pushing your foot down on the accelerator pedal. So it sounds like an M-core issue. You need to get that working first. Make sure that's working correctly first, either by replacing the M-core or taking your car to a shop and having them read the fault codes and look at the M-core, because they can see what the M-core is doing on their little computer, the same little computer that they use to read fault codes and speed your car up and all that. They can also see the M-core to make sure that as you push the pedal that the signal is smooth from 0 to 100% or wide open throttle. So you got to get it going to 0 to 100% first. So you can do it. That would probably be the best thing to do, but that's the first thing you need to verify that's working correctly. Otherwise, anything else you do is not going to, you're going to be disappointed in results. You have to make sure your M-core is doing 0 to 100%. A lot of people do things in the wrong order. Well, to me, they do it. For me, it's the wrong order. Verify your M-core is working properly. If you got to do that first, and then go from there. That way, anything you add on, you know it's getting the right signal. Brandon says he's working on a cart that suddenly hard brakes and beeps. Once out of the pedal and back in, it will go. Replaced M-core, but problem remains. Okay. Are you the one that I think I was talking with one of the operators, and I got a similar question, and I said, or maybe it was last week, maybe it was last week's episode, where I said, see if you can duplicate the issue by turning the key off, like while the car's rolling, like get rolling in the car and turn the key off. And if you duplicate the exact same issue by turning the key off, that means your solenoid's dropping out, because all you do when you turn the key off is you unlock the solenoid. So the things in the circuit for the solenoid is your M-core, which you said you replaced, and your controller. So you could have a controller that's telling your solenoid to unconnect, for some reason. The T-wheels, they are an airless tire, no flats, puncture-proof, and hard to describe. Okay, I've seen the airless tires, Craig. That would be pretty cool. I thought about going to Wilbur Spring about the lithium springs. Justin Tillett, Judd Tillett. What's going on, Judd? Put a new 48-volt lithium battery on my 2008 Club Car DS. Runs about 40 yards and stops. Wait for a few minutes and hit the accelerator, and it does the same thing. Well, what was it? My question would be, what was it doing before the lithium, Justin? It was doing not. I'm assuming it was not doing this before the lithium, and now the lithium, and it is. Then I'd have some lithium questions. It told it to install one of the 0 to 72 volt gauge forward and reverse and ignition switch plus 2 USB chargers from Amazon. Works great. So forward and reverse and plus 2. Cool. Oh, it was doing it before. Okay, if it was doing it before the lithium, then it could be your controller. Your controller is heating up, and I wouldn't doubt it if it might even be heating up faster now with the lithium than it was with the other ones. But it's most likely your controller is getting hot there, Judd. Put a 48 volt lithium on a 2008 DS. Yep, you're going to have an M-core also, but doesn't sound like an M-core issue. That sounds like a controller heating up issue. And then you're letting it cool off for a little bit, and it takes off again. Yep. That's what it sounds like to me there, Judd. Mark Folsom, what's going on, Mark Folsom? Thank you for stopping by. Craig, I love any golf cart with the Kawasaki in it. Honestly, that FE290 that Club Car used in their DSs for years and years, and the Precedents also, that's a good motor. So an RXV with the Kawasaki is definitely not going to have the same issues as the electrics have. I mean, it's going to be a whole different set of issues, but I have not heard any reoccurring issues in a gas RXV like I have the electric. So I wouldn't be afraid of one of those at all, Craig. Yeah, 2 screws. Number 4. This is where we're at. From Rob, my electric cart has 1-year-old batteries. I checked them with a multimeter and all tested between 6.1 and 6.4 and the overall output was 37.7. I checked all the wiring, all was good. Fully charged batteries will only get me around 1.5 miles and then the cart won't go. What is the next step to look for? Rob. Okay. Your next step, Rob, would be to, at that mile mark where it won't go, check your batteries again. That would be the next step. Like I was talking about, I have a certain order I like to do things in. Well, the next step would be, if you want to know the next step in order, in the correct order, make your car fail at that mile mark and then check those batteries again and see where your volts are, because that one that says 6.1, that's pretty low for 1-year-old batteries. It should be about 6.3. You know, 6.37 is a fully charged 6-volt battery. So if you got one that's 6.1, I wouldn't doubt it if during failure that 6.1 one is the one dropping out, or you might have 2 dropping out. But even just 1 dropping out could make your car fail. Brandon, there is deep inside a service manual. There's going to be a test, all kinds of things that you could do to actually test for the controller. But the easiest way is the diagnostic tool in a club car. But there will be a test for the controller. But it's going to involve, I talked about it before, it's probably going to involve some insulation piercing probes like these, where it pierces the insulation around the wire. And it's the club car test and the service manual are real complicated tests. And sometimes I felt like that they're making it more complicated than it needs to be. So the answer is yes. If you have a service manual, you can find the test. Key off while rolling did replicate the issue. Okay, well that means that for some reason your solenoid is dropping out for no reason. And you've already replaced one of the things in the circuit that keeps the solenoid connected, and that was the M core, the little micro switch that's inside the M core. If that little micro switch goes bad, your solenoid would drop out. All right, so you've already replaced the M core and it's still doing it. So there's another thing involved in that circuit, and that's the controller. Now, diagnostic tool, you know, it would throw a fault code every time it did that. So it might be a good idea to have that checked out, because you got some fault codes in there every time it did it. Jeffrey Rogers on Facebook, 95 Easy Go medalist with the Robin engine. That's the going to be the twin-cylinder Robin. How to fix the backfiring? Well, there's lots of reasons why a gas golf cart can backfire. We've talked about that a lot. One of the main reasons is that when you let off the accelerator pedal, the needle and seat doesn't exactly close all the way inside the carburetor bowl, and even though you have let off the accelerator pedal, there's still fuel pumping into the cylinder, and with no spark because your micro switches are not clicked because you've let off the accelerator pedal, but there's a little bit of fuel getting past the needle and seat going into the cylinder, and as soon as you put your foot back on the accelerator pedal, it ignites spark and that extra fuel. That's one of the most common reasons for backfiring, but it's most always going to have something to do with the carburetor itself. On YouTube, we got Herb Caldwell. What's going on, Herb Caldwell? 2006 EasyGo TXT. Where can I find a service manual for my car, if one is available? A service manual for a 2006 TXT. What are you trying to do, Herb? I may be able to save you some trouble just by sending you somewhere else to a website. I know a couple of websites that have lots of things. Is it a 2006 EasyGo TXT PDS 36 volt car is one question I'd have, because there's lots of stuff online for free about that car. Craig says he's got a Kawasaki in my mower. It's been great for years. Yeah, I love those motors. They're great. Do fault codes get stored on board or only when thrown? They get stored on board, Brandon. It's been a while since I have plugged into a club car with one of the computers, but I believe they get stored on board, so they're getting stored in the controller itself, because basically the diagnostic port on that car goes straight to the controller. Now there's lots of things that get stored in the onboard computer, but that's different than what we're talking about here. The onboard computer fault codes can be read by that little light on the dash with another piece of equipment that we've talked about before called a CDM. Tim, what size wire do you use on your carts? I use 1 to 0 in my cars. It depends on what car we're talking about. Like on my lifted car, it's got a big controller in it, big old torque motor. So there's 2-gauge welding cable in there, and I made all the ends, and all the ends are soldered. They're not crimped. They make these. They make some cable ends that are filled with solder and flux already in the hole. So what you do is you put the cable in a vise just so that you hold it up, and you get your wire ready, and then you heat up the cable end with a small torch until you see the solder and flux melt. And when you see the solder and flux melt, you just push the wire into the cable end and hold it there for a few seconds, remove the fire, and it's done. I mean, you didn't have to crimp anything, and it makes a perfect connection. So, but anyway, 2-gauge welding cable is what I like to use on any type of modified, hopped up electrical car. It's very easy to work with because welding cable is very flexible, even though it's big. It's like regular cable. Sometimes you get big. You get the bigger cable, and they're hard to maneuver and hard to work with and hard to bend and get in places you might need to get. But welding cable is really cool. Let's see. Okay, Herb. Oh yeah, we're talking about a 2006 EasyGo TXT PDS. Well, before you go try to buy a service manual, which you can if you would like, you can get a service manual. Go to buggiesgonewild.com, buggiesgonewild.com. That's a golf cart forum that I've talked about before, that I have used for years, and I still do to this day. I still use them to this day. There's lots of good information on there. There are wiring diagrams, there's troubleshooting guides. Under the EasyGo section, of course, look in the resource section. You might find exactly what you need, but if you choose to buy a service manual, you can buy one online for sure. We may even have those at Golf Cart Garage. Check and see if we have service manuals if you're stuck on wanting to buy a service manual. Go to golfcartgarage.com and ask one of our amazing people that work there if we have a service manual for a 2006 EasyGo TXT PDS, if you're sure that you have a PDS. eBay, you can get the disc, Jeffrey says, for a service manual. And I have the disc for Yamaha, a couple of Yamahas, and then Jeffrey hooked me up with a book, and I now have some other stuff for Yamahas. But yeah, you can usually get a disc nowadays, a CD or a DVD with the service manual on it. You can order them from eBay. Rob Cedar, 81 and sunny in Clemson, South Carolina. Nice relief from the heat. Yeah, 81 sounds good because we're at like 90 something here. We're pretty hot. Roger Ramirez, I have a 2016 E-Z-GO TXT with a ROX twin A-arm. Why is my ride so bouncy? Is there a solution? Bouncy. I don't know why it would be bouncy. Roger, tell me about your wheel and tire configuration. What are you running on there? Control voltage. Okay, cool, Jeffrey. Yes, her buggiesgonewild.com. Go there and see what you can do. But if you still want to get a service manual, do like what Jeffrey said. Go to eBay and plug that in. You can get a CD or with it on there probably, or if you want the paper copy, you can just go online and plug in golf cart service manuals and see what you come up with. But check Golf Cart Garage behind me. How do I point to the? Yeah, Golf Cart Garage. Rob Cedar says, believe it or not, Reddit solved my biggest golf cart problem. Well, there's some AI. You want to use AI out there to solve golf cart issues. They at least have an answer. Lloyd Lou, what's going on, Lloyd Lou? Central California, my cables are just sitting in the garage. Central California, my cables are just sitting in the garage. 1423 on 10s. So you got 23-inch tires, 14-inch rim, 10 wide. Well, that gives you plenty of air pressure to deal with, to play with, to help control your bounce. But nothing much. See, we're seeing that problem a lot. We're seeing lots of people that want to soften their ride. Roger, this doesn't happen to be a lithium car, huh? I didn't ask that. Is this a lithium car? Or you got regular batteries in there, regular lead acid batteries in there? Jeffrey said eBay has the book too, but they're expensive. Lloyd Lou, my cables are sitting in the garage hot. Lloyd Lou, are you saying that your cables are getting hot? Oh, see, there we go. And we hit on it. Roger's car is a lithium. Well, there's your problem, Roger. That's what we talk about. We just got through talking about that, and we talk about that here a lot because it comes up a lot. There is a need for softer suspension packages for lithium cars, especially cars that didn't start out as lithium, that have been converted to lithium. And I'm sure that's probably the way that yours is. Oh yeah, it is, because it's a 2016 E-Z-GO TXT. You see, it wasn't designed for 300 pounds lighter. It was designed for 300 pounds heavier. Then your suspension wouldn't be bouncy. So that's why we're constantly talking about the need for a softer suspension package for lithium cars. And see, that lift kit, if it came with springs and everything with it, the same thing. That's designed for 300 more pounds. So it's difficult to make a decision on what to do, because about the only thing you can do is lower air pressure or adjust your tire and rim situation to where you can lower air pressure. Wondering if it works. Epoch batteries, yep, that's going to be lithiums, yeah. One day someone's going to come out with a whole set of lift kits, including springs, suspension for lithium cars only. And they're going to sell like hotcakes, because lithium is selling like hotcakes. I wish there was some way I could make sure that I had a part of it, because we seem to be the only people talking about the need for that. Okay. Oh, this is Brandon. This is why I remembered the question. If you're still in here, Brandon Guthrie. Now I see it is you. Because here's the next question. 2014 Club Car Villager 8, the issue I'm having, and I've experienced as well, at full throttle, the vehicle is hard brake. It's been a couple of times, but if you let off the throttle and get right back in it, it continues rolling as normal. I did check to see if it was possibly something like thermal overload, because it did take a bit. 150, not sure exactly operating temperature should be. It seems a little high to the right direction. Response could be helped. Yeah, so that is what I said about turning the key off to see if you can duplicate the issue. But you can also, get your fault code read there, is what I think is what we were talking about. But yeah, that was you that asked that question. That's funny. Lighter spring for the lithium. I'll make it a point next week to see what Wilbur Spring says to me about a lighter spring for lithium cars. Good. Yeah, let us know, Jeffrey, because somebody could make some money there if they had the ability to manufacture springs and stuff. Now running 20 psi on tires. That's pretty high for a golf cart, 20 psi. But you got 23-inch tires. I don't know, because that's you could try lowering them. I mean, for sure, try lowering it. Golf carts, especially now that your car is so lighter, you don't even need to run even close to the max PSI, because your golf cart is so much lighter than it used to be. Number 6 is where we're at. I'm losing track of time here. Make them from scratch. Yeah, see, that's what needs to happen. You need to have some kind of manufacturing facility that can make leaf springs from scratch, and then you start just copying OEM stuff, but softer. Copy OEM leaf spring, exactly the same dimensions and everything, but just a little bit softer, like to handle 300 pounds less. Number 6 is from Ed. I have a 99 E-Z-GO TXT golf cart that I have completely rebuilt. During the rebuild, I also replaced the steering system, including new tie rod ends. It still has more play in the steering unit than I want because this thing will do over 30 miles an hour, and it's not safe. Is there any way to convert the old steering system to a rack and pinion system? I have looked for a kit to do that, but to no avail. Can a rack and pinion system from a newer cart be converted to fit my 99? I understand your question. I don't think, see, you could there's a couple of things you could do. I know what steering you have. You've got the same steering as my 96, okay, my 96 race car. Well, I did everything I could to get all the slack out. I just happen to have this sitting right here. Did you replace, what my question would be, did you replace this? This is a big old bronze bushing that's in that steering rack system. And you really want to take slack out, replace this bronze bushing. That will help a lot. Plus everything else that you did on that steering system. That's one idea. Now, another idea, there are fancy, expensive A-arm lift kits out there that come with their own steering rack. So in other words, not only is it a lift kit, it comes with its steering rack, a rack and pinion steering rack, so you actually get rid of all that. So you could look at Jake's lift kits at golfcartgarage.com. God, I can't believe how hard that is to do. At golfcartgarage.com, look at Jake's lift kit for a 96 TXT long travel, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It completely wipes out your old steering system. It has its own. So that's a couple of ways you could take out more slack, is what I'm saying. Okay. Number 6 is where I'm at, I think. Nope. No, that was Ed with the steering rack question. So we are on number 7. Number 7 is from Sam. Will the golf cart run if I disconnect and remove the GPS monitor inside the cart? I left that one in here on purpose. Does anybody in the room have experience with the GPS monitored carts? Because I do not. And I would not doubt it if it disables the cart, because that's the whole purpose of the GPS, is so golf courses can keep track of their carts. So I was wondering, I left that in there because I didn't know the answer, and I was thinking maybe somebody that is working on golf carts from a golf course that uses those GPS systems could answer that question, because I'm not exactly sure. I haven't looked it up or anything, but I'm not exactly sure. But I would not be surprised if there is some kind of, when you remove that, some kind of disconnect, that the cart won't run. Like this. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's how I can do it. Yeah, that's much easier. Thank you, Craig. If anybody in the room does know that about the GPS carts, please chime in whenever you get a chance, because I do not know the answer. It's a good question too, because there's a lot of those out there nowadays, a lot of GPS monitored carts, and that's, I mean, they can keep track of where their carts are, you know, so it would make sense if someone tries to remove that to steal the cart, that the car wouldn't run. Daniel Torello, yeah, I bet that's Torello. Is there a resource to find what amperage different club cars pull? I'm working on an 81 DS solenoid resistor cart. I have a lithium battery that I plan on putting in the cart. Why would you be, let me ask you a question, Daniel. Why are you concerned about what the amperage is a golf cart pulls? Because a good rule of thumb is like on flat ground, somewhere between 25 and 50 amps is what they pull on flat ground going wide open. But I have lithium batteries that I plan on putting in the cart. So you're trying to decide how much amp hour you need to use? Is that what you're trying to decide? Just if you're I'm assuming that this golf cart is completely stock, since it's an 81 with the resistors and the solenoids in it. So you could get away with a small lithium. If it's a completely stock golf cart, you could get away with a 50 amp hour lithium pack, you know, and probably be fine, and be absolutely fine. Greg Elliott, sounds like I missed a lot in this episode, but I will rerun. Doctor did cataract surgery on other eye today. Just woke up. Looks like a dream cycle. Cool, Greg. Well, I'm glad you're recovering good. I would think, Roger, I would think 16 and even lower would be okay, considering those 23-inch tires were designed. There's no 23-inch tires that were specifically designed that I know of for a golf cart. They were designed for some other kind of vehicle that probably weighs way more than your lithium cart. So you can adjust down, you know, as far as you need to, as far as you feel comfortable with. You might be able to go less than 16. Just, I mean, obviously you don't want to run around on flats, you know, but you have a lot more leadway now to run lower pressure than you did before you put the lithium in there, is all I'm saying. So adjust down a PSI at a time until you get down to 10 or something, you know, and then you might want to start backing off, you know, when you start getting too low. But Craig, Kirk says he was going to say the same thing about, I guess, me pointing to the screen. Floor it, that the spike in the draw won't trip the BMS. I had a 94 Villager with lots of corrosion. Okay, well, Daniel, I understand, but they make lithium packs as low as 50 amp hour. You know, that's about the lowest I've seen, 50 and 60 amp hour. And those are designed for golf carts, and golf carts, people are going to floor them. So if you build your pack, or ever how you're doing it, and you need to get at least 50 amp hour, and you should be fine on a perfectly stocked cart. The BMS should not trip, you know, on a 50 amp hour pack. Because the reason I say that is because there are 50 amp hour packs for golf carts, and if the BMS tripped every time somebody floored it, that product wouldn't even be on the shelf. So if you're building or buying, just and your golf cart is stock, you can get away with the lowest amp hour, and the lowest ones I've seen are 50 and 60 amp hour. D-Max was running a 60 amp hour in a lifted cart and didn't have any problems with the BMS tripping. Tina Wilson on Facebook. What's going on, Tina? I really like that hat you're wearing. Oh, yeah. Yep. Well, I just went to the hat guy. You know, the reason that Golf Cart Garage doesn't have every hat that I have is because I bought some hats and just went to the hat guy and had him stitch the logo, you know, into the hat. That's why I've got a couple that aren't available. But a lot of people have shown interest in some of the ones that I have that they're not on the shelf at Golf Cart Garage. So when we make a new order, we'll put some of these in there. And the hat guy came up with the orange idea on the camo hat because we couldn't figure out what stitching to put in there. And then he said, well, I'll put orange in there. And I said, well, that makes sense. And I like it too. I think it works out good, the orange stitching on the camo. Let's see, I messed my screen up there. Roger Ramirez says, thanks, enjoy the show, keep up the good work. Thank you, Roger. Yeah, there's not a lot you can do after you go lithium with that suspension stuff, but between me and Jeffrey, we're going to talk somebody into it. We're going to talk somebody into making a new product. Number 8. From Brian, 2014 EasyGo 48 volt cart randomly started cutting out once you go past a quarter throttle. The batteries are good and no loose wires. Realize several things could be the culprit. However, do you think it's the foot pedal switch or maybe the inductive throttle sensor? Thanks in advance. 2014 EasyGo 48. Number 8. Well, first I want to say this, Brian. That is an excellent description. Normally the descriptions for people's problems, I have to decode them. Randomly started cutting out once you go past a quarter throttle. The batteries are good and no loose wires. Realize several things could be the culprit. However, asking, do you think it's the foot pedal switch or maybe the inductive throttle sensor? Good description. All right, it's definitely not the foot pedal switch. All right, but it could be the inductive throttle sensor because of what you're describing. Now, I'm assuming that everything else you told me is correct. I'm assuming that what you said about your batteries is correct. So the next thing I would be worried about would be the inductive throttle sensor, because what that does is sends a signal. Once you get past a certain point, the signal is either going away or it's going through the roof and causing it to shut down. So yeah, that was probably what it is. Daniel Torello, thanks so much. My Villager pulled over 100 until I replaced the forward and reverse. I just couldn't find a good resource to know how bad it was. Well, yeah, if you're pulling lots of amps, you might have a bottleneck somewhere. So it's a good idea to go through your whole system. Anything your big power wires are connected to, you have to keep that in mind. That might be a bottleneck. You know, what I mean by your big power wires is your 6-gauge wires. Anything your 6-gauge wires go to, all your amps are going to go through that area, including your forward and reverse switch, because you've got 6-gauge wires connected at your forward and reverse switch. So that has to be able to pass all those amps, you know, all the time. That's why forward and reverse switches, mechanical ones, get replaced eventually, because they sit there, they pass amps every time you touch the accelerator pedal. So in other words, they heat up and cool down, heat up and cool down every time you go on the golf cart, and eventually that they will wear out. Rich Eastman says you can have a 50 amp hour battery that has a 100 amp hour BMS or whatever the manufacturer puts in it. The lower the amp hour rating will just limit the distance you would be able to go. Yes, exactly. So you have to know the specifics of your BMS is what he's saying. But stock golf carts, 50 amp hour battery should be fine. Jeffrey says, this is the only hour I enjoy anymore. Nothing but 14 to 17 hour days, 7 days a week. Well, thank you, Jeffrey. I'm glad you can take a break. I'll tell you what, Tina Wilson mentioned something about the hat thing. I've actually thought about just having Golf Cart Garage just sell the logo. You know, like Iman hooked me up with the high definition logo for this hat, and I gave the high definition logo to the hat guy, and he could put it on anything you want, or anything you want. So we could actually sell that, just the high definition logo, and you could put it on whatever hat you wanted. My wife didn't think that was a great idea, though. I thought it was, but she didn't think so. Forward and reverse with the brass bar. We're telling about that, Jeff. Number 9 is where we're at. We're going to have to speed up a little bit here. I have a 96 EasyGo TXT having issues with the wires getting hot and smoking when going uphill. So wires come from forward and reverse and to a black box and then down to the motor. The wires are hot in the black box. I just recently switched to forward and reverse as well. Can you help? Well, there's a couple of things that can cause wires to get hot, you know, especially the main power wires, this 6-gauge wires. Loose connection can cause it. Over amperage can cause it, like over amperage pulling, like what we're talking about with Daniel there. Or a bad cable. You can have a bad cable that gets hot. So if you've got a cable that's getting hot and your car's not lifted, or you know it's not an over amperage situation, then replace that cable and see if it goes away. Because a lot of times corrosion will go inside the insulation of a cable. It can make its way inside the insulation, and the cable will become a bottleneck. It will become a bottleneck for passing all those amps, and that will cause it to get hot. Number 10. This is from Dina, or Deanna. 1972, give or take a few years, club car. It stays in forward gear and won't stop till you put it in neutral or turn the ignition off. I've replaced 5 cylinders, I believe you mean 5 solenoids there. Didn't work. Thank you very much. Well, Deanna, that's one of those electrical systems. Huh. I got something wrong on my sheet here. I actually made a mistake. That's crazy. Okay. Your main solenoid is either closed. If you're having to put it in neutral, for some reason when you lift your pedal, your main solenoid is staying closed, because otherwise the cart would stop. You know, so when you first push your gas pedal just a little bit, it activates a small micro switch that activates the main solenoid. Okay. Your main solenoid is either welded shut or the micro switch that activates that main solenoid is defective and is failed in a closed position. Not open, it's failed in a closed position. Your car has a box that has 5 micro switches inside of it. Each micro switch is involved with each one of those solenoids. So you've got, I know you said you replaced the 5 solenoids. Well, now you got to go back and get in that box where all those micro switches are. You might have to replace a few of those. Brandon says, thank you for all the helpful information you give to everyone. I appreciate it greatly, and I'm sure everyone else does. I started out looking for answers, but you definitely gained a fan. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. I actually enjoy doing this. Well, besides the fact they pay me, you know, but I actually enjoy doing this. I enjoy working for Golf Cart Garage. I really do. I'm not involved in direct sales, but I'm involved, you know, in indirect sales. You know, this would be considered indirect because I do this occasionally. This is my new thing. I do this occasionally. That's indirect sales. William Flowers, what's going on, William? You can sell patches also with the logo on it for hats and shirts. Yep, yeah, we could do that. I think that talking about golf carts should be an Olympic event. I bet you would make Team USA. Yeah, my wife was so happy when I got this job for Golf Cart Garage because now I get to talk to other people about batteries and things instead of just her. So she was very happy that I get to talk to other people about it. Say it ain't so. What, Mike? A villager I bought used, it was a beach cart. A lot of the wires had corrosion so far into the insulation that I couldn't just replace the lugs. Yep, well I'm glad that's what I was talking about. Yeah, corrosion can go up the wires and cause that wire to be a bottleneck. Tina says that's a good idea about the hats, and her favorite color is orange. So I guess you like my Nike shirt too then, because I'm all oranged out today. Does GCC pay you every time you lift your arm? Hey, that's a good idea, Kurt. Ding, cha-ching, cha-ching. That's a good idea. I'll have to bring that up. All right, that's all of the regular questions. Let's see, we got enough. Here's a card I did for a customer. We'll take care of that real quick. Let's see some cards. I don't remember if I've shown this card before or not. Anyway, this is a card I did for a customer. This is just an example of how just a change of tires and rims. This is why people get so caught up in going with these low profile tires and rims. It's because they make a big difference in the way a car looks. All right, not necessarily on a difference, not necessarily a good thing on the way the car rides or the way the car performs, but it sure does make them look good. And this is an example of that. This was just a stock. You can even see the golf course numbers still on the cart. This was a stock black Precedent, which is a decent looking car with the stock tires and rims. But then you go and put a set of these on there, and oh man, it just kind of it looks cool. That's a cool looking little cart there. And of course, this one's set up for golf. This person that I sold it to, they wanted it for golf. They lived in a golf course community. But that looks cool, man. And they're a little taller than stock, as you can tell, so it sucks them up into the wheel well. It puts them up inside the wheel well, kind of covers it. Now, obviously, that's going to cause a possible con. You're getting really close to different items underneath the cart, so you have a better possibility of rubbing. This is a lower profile tire. So your golf cart is not going to be as smooth as it was before, and you don't have as much adjustment or room for an air adjustment. But it sure does look good. That's all I'm saying, and that's why a lot of people get caught up in it, because it sure does look good. But if this car stays on a golf course, which is what it's designed for, if it stays on a manicured golf course, you probably never have a problem. But you start trying to go off-road or any type of bumpy terrain, then you might have a rubbing issue. You might have a rough ride issue that you start complaining about. But anyway, I used to sell a lot of cars like that. Probably more to I sold more cars to people that did not use them for golf than I did golf. This one just happened to be somebody who lived in a golf course community. But anyway, I just wanted to show that. That was a good looking cart. Jeffrey says you need to make a 101 video to recommend to newbies to watch so you do not have to repeat your basic questions every week. Yeah, that would probably be a good idea. Okay, let me see where we're at. We did the let's see. Remember, if you are thinking about going lithium, we're still running the Eco batteries at Golf Cart Garage. Cha-ching. Are 10% off, I believe. Yeah, 10% off, already factored into the price at Golf Cart Garage. The Wheelie Good deal, remember about that. Go to golfcartgarage.com and look for this logo. It's a Wheelie Good deal that is going on also. And it tells you, you go look for this logo and it'll show you all the breakdowns and all the discounts. Okay. Oh, also Double Take products have a special going on at golfcartgarage.com. They are up to 15% off on all Double Take products. That would be body kits, anything that's Double Take. It's up to 15% off. Now, you can't double down on things that are already on sale with my coupon. But if it's not one of the things on sale, you can use this coupon at golfcartgarage.com. Cha-ching. You get 5% off on any parts you order if you use the coupon code TIM22. TIM22. This code expires on July 22nd of 2024. So we're good to go for quite a while, for the rest of this month almost. Get 5% off anything you order. If you need to contact us at Golf Cart Garage, you are welcome to for something. If you want to tell us something, if you want to give us an accolade, if you want to tell us how bad we're doing, you want to tell us how good we're doing, or even talk bad about me, you're welcome to. Here's the contact number. Support at golfcartgarage.com, and there's the phone number right there. Kirk, most all lithium companies, including Eco, recommend that you use their charger, their proprietary charger for their batteries. And the reason is because you do not want to have a conversation with Eco if you have a problem with your expensive lithium pack and you say, oh man, my lithium pack blew up. You don't want to talk to Eco and they ask you this question. Well, what charger did you use? And then you tell them and it wasn't their charger and they know that they recommended using their charger. You don't want to get into that with a warranty item is what I'm saying, a warranty thing. So I would recommend, now BMSs are supposed to take care of all that. I understand that. You're supposed to be able to use any charger because the BMS is going to limit the current and everything. But if they all trusted that, then they wouldn't be recommending using their charger. You know, they have a special lithium charger, Eco does, and so does almost every lithium company that I've been involved with. 33 watching and only 2 likes. Come on, guys. Harry Fike, thank you, sir. Don't forget to give a thumbs up also. Bruce, thank you, Bruce. Let me see if we're caught up on Facebook. Yeah, we're caught up on Facebook. We're caught up on YouTube, and we have done that. We've done that. Title of this episode was Hot Cables, and we talked about lots of the reasons you can end up with hot cables and what to do. If you start getting a hot cable, you need to solve it because it's not going to get better. It's not going to cure itself. It's only going to get worse if you have a cable that's getting hot. Okay, this was episode 206. Happy 4th, by the way, to everybody. Everybody be careful out there. I'm going to be at the lake. I'll be being careful myself because all the lakes get pretty busy, you know, on 4th of July. Memorial Day is the opening of the season, but 4th of July is right in the height of it. So everybody be careful out there and watch out for all the crazy people. there will be some crazy people. So you can count on that. I did the coupon, Kurt. Oh, the YouTube may be behind a little bit. I see. All right. So everybody have a safe 4th of July. I will see everybody next week, next Taco Tuesday, which will be looks like will be the 9th. I will see everybody on the 9th. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for participating. Thank you for everything that you're doing, because this show is continuing. These episodes will continue as long as y'all want them to. So I will see everybody later. Oh, I'll get to your cart, Brandon. All right. The garage is now closed.